Good Wednesday morning to all of you. Hope you are well. Today is day 27 of the Omer. This Shabbat at home, we're going to be reading Parashat Emor. In Parashat Emor, the Chagim, smack in the middle, right after the Torah shares with us what we will be celebrating on Shavuot, the Torah reminds us to give gifts to the poor, right? When you're going to go ahead and harvest the bounty of the land and have plenty, be sure to remember those that have less. Now, the commentators share with us a very important statement that appears in the Talmud that clarifies why the Torah mentions the gifts for the poor at that specific moment after the harvest. And the words that are used are the following: Melach mamon chesed. Melach, the salt. Salt is a preserving agent. So the preserving agent of your wealth, of your money, is what? Chesed. Melach mamon chesed. A very important statement. So you want to preserve your wealth? Be sure to think of the others who need it. Be sure to fulfill your responsibility of doing acts of chesed with your finances. And therefore, right after we are told in the Torah that come Shavuot, it's the time when you harvest and you realize that thank God you're doing well, you could support your family and sustain them. Be sure to remember the others. Do your chesed. And that's how you preserve your wealth, right? Everyone wants to preserve their wealth. Everyone wants to be sure that their savings are intact. So you want to have something that preserves it. Melach of Mammon is chesed. Fine, a very nice statement, a very important one. Where in the Talmud does this statement appear? So the story is right after the destruction of the second Bet HaMikdash, Rav Yochanan ben Zכאי, the great Rav Yochanan ben Zכאי, is departing Jerusalem, and he's riding on a donkey, and he sees a young lady during this awful time, during this tragic period where there's famine and death. He sees a young lady who is trying to find food and is looking through the dung of animals, not just of her own animals, but animals of others, of Arabs, as the Talmud places it. And she's looking through the dung of these animals, trying to find some barley. And that was what she was hoping to eat. And Rabbi Yochanan ben Zכאי looks at her with great pity. But when he identifies her, he's completely shocked, because he realizes that she is the daughter of Nekdimon ben Gurion, who is an extremely wealthy individual. And Rav Yochanan ben Zכאי even remembered the amount her ksuva was. The great wealth that existed there was gone with the destruction. And Rav Yochanan ben Zכאי turns to the young lady and says, how did this happen? And this young woman inspired Rabbi Yochanan, and she was the one who made this statement, that you should know, it appears that yes, my family did a lot of tzedakah, but not enough for the abilities, financial abilities they had. And she was the one that shares with Rabbi Yochanan, you know how you preserve wealth? Melach mamon chesed. She is the one that made that statement to him. And it inspired him, and it is one that we share today. This young lady unfortunately suffered, but for 2,000 years, we could go ahead and say that we've been inspired by her because she is the one who shares that statement with Rav Yochanan. And Rav Yochanan, in turn, is the one that always teaches that, yes, we perhaps lost the best Bet HaMikdash, but we could do acts of kindness. We could go ahead and do chesed. We could give tzedakah. That is how we rebuild our temple. Now, this is an important message, but for me there's something quite incredible about Rabbi Yochanan ben Zכאי. He is the individual who saw the greatest pain and the greatest destruction during that period of time. But yet, we remember him for rebuilding Torah. He recreated Torah. And in essence, and this is something that great rabbinic figures tell us, that in the past 2,000 years, The greatest rabbinic figure is Rabbi Yochanan ben Zechai, because when there's a crisis and things seem to be collapsing and it seems to be the end of the world, he was the one that says, you know what, we're going to go ahead and rebuild. We're going to go ahead and figure ways to reestablish our faith. We're going to figure out ways to go ahead and teach the Klal Yisrael that, you know what, there's still service of Hashem. There's still a way to relate to Him even without a Bet HaMikdash. We can rebuild and we will rebuild, and he did rebuild. Look at Judaism today. We have to thank Rabbi Yochanan ben Zechai for it. Sometimes you are in a time of challenge and darkness, but you realize that when the right things are done, it could be a turnaround that rebuilds a magnificent new world. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zechai was such a person, and he's inspiring us today with the chesed we do, right? With the commitment to make a better world when we walk out of this situation. We're going to go ahead and look back and see this as a rebounding period. That's what we could be inspired by people like the daughter of Nekdimon ben Gurion. That's how we could be inspired by Rabbi Yochanan ben Zechai. And let's do our part in melach mamon, in preserving whatever we have by doing acts of chesed, financially and also emotionally supporting one another during this challenging time. Let's do our part and merit to hear good news. For now, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.